Welcome to my channel. Today I'm very excited to let you in to a very intimate part of my world, and it is period tracking and how I plan my singing around it. So get comfy because I'm going to share with you in details exactly why I started period syncing, how I track my cycle with the help of the moon phases, and what I do to sync myself with the 4 different phases to help my singing. We are, as opera singers, are very connected to our bodies and to our voices, and I can't believe I just started period syncing a year ago. For years, I lived without this knowledge. When I grew up, I was ashamed of my cycle. It was something painful and uncomfortable that I just wanted to ignore and get over with. I think that it is so amazing that we have so much more awareness nowadays to our cycle, that women are much more open about it and talk about it. It's incredible. But even in times when I wanted to hide my period and I was ashamed of it, it still affected my voice and my singing. And I was aware of it. My cords were swollen, I felt tired, low energy, very, very painful. After giving birth, I have to say that the pain has almost disappeared completely, but I still feel on those 3 first days of my period that my energy is very, very low. So besides resting on my period or menstruation days, I didn't really know how to utilize my feminine power throughout my cycle. But now, as I aim to get to the biggest stages of the world, I realized that on my way there, I've been ignoring a huge part of me instead of bringing awareness to it and using my feminine power to sing better and to be better to myself. So how do I track my cycle with the help of the moon phases? Last summer, I got this beautiful calendar, and this is how I started tracking my cycle in accordance to the moon. The woman who created this calendar wrote a book about cycle syncing. And what I love about this calendar is that it shows you the different phases of the moon throughout the month. So if there is a new moon or a full moon, if you use Google Calendar, you can also add the moon phases to Google Calendar to track it yourself. So what I did, I started circling the dates on which I received my period. And after a few months, I realized that my period arrives around a full moon. And this is how I started noticing that around a new moon, I sing and perform at my best. And I will explain to you why now. The 4 phases of our cycle are pretty similar to the changing seasons. So we start with menstruation, with our period, which is very similar to the fall to autumn. It's time to release, like the falling leaves. Time to let go and make place for new things to come. During my period, I try to rest as much as I can, and I try not to schedule any performances or auditions on my period days. If I do have performances or auditions on those days, auditions I really try to avoid, but performances, I rest all day until it's my time to get ready and go to the performance. During my period, while I rest, I look inside, I listen to my intuition, and I look back at the month I had, and I say to myself, what does not serve me anymore? What can I let go of? And after thinking about those things, I'm kind of setting new goals for this upcoming beautiful month ahead. It's my time to dream and to ask for manifestations while slowing down. It's time to observe, to think, to heal, and to be with myself. And I really, really try again not to schedule auditions during that time. And I also try not to schedule performances, but I know that sometimes it's just impossible because the dates are already given. So I'm really, really conscious during that time to be connected to my body, to rest all day long, and really reserve all my energies only for the performance. The next season is winter, or the follicular phase. This is where I start practicing again. After my period is over, I feel like something fresh is coming. It's a new beginning, a new month. New seeds are growing roots. Everything becomes stronger and I become more creative. I become stronger, and all those goals and dreams that I was imagining and all those new things I planned for myself for this upcoming beautiful month, now they start to grow roots and manifest. Now I start to take action and to make things happen. It's time to get things going with a new fresh energy. It's time to be a star, to sing, to practice, to network, to do all the things that will bring you closer to your goals. And now we get to the blooming season of spring, which is ovulation. And I just love being ovulation because this is when I sing and perform at my best. For me, it's around a new moon, and I definitely try to schedule all my auditions during that time. This is a time when you are like a magnet. Everything is magnetized to you. You are like a blooming flower. You're radiating beautiful energy all around you, and people are drawn to you and are magnetized to you. And it's very hard to resist and say no to us. During this phase, our ability to communicate and collaborate is at its best. Just like the flowers attract bees and butterflies, this is the time when you attract your wishes and your heart's desires. So use this time to perform, to get those connections going, to audition. This is the time to radiate, and this is when I sing at my best. It's like, whoo, my voice is flowing so easily when I'm ovulating. We have arrived to the final season, the fourth season of our feminine cycle, which is the summer, the luteal phase. And in summer, it's time to harvest, to pick those beautiful fruits we were working towards the entire month and make things happen. I noticed that I'm really good in noticing small details and I'm focusing during this phase. So I try to sign all those contracts during this time and to do all the networking and all the things that need attention to small details, maybe learning new repertoire. It's a really good phase to do that. It's also a time to close all those projects I was working on throughout the month and to finalize everything just before my period is coming, so I will have time to rest and let go. I also noticed that 2 days before my period arrives, I have a very, very strong PMS, and I just feel more stressed. My body is like holding everything just before it can release and let go. And my mind is more troubled. I have more negative thoughts. So if I have performances during those days, the days just before my period, I try to be very gentle with myself. I do a lot of meditation to put myself in the right state of mind I want for the performance. I rest and sleep a lot. I eat healthy, nourishing food. And I'm trying to be very, very gentle to myself and to my voice in order to sing really, really well during this time. And if I can, I try to schedule my performances in the different phases. In the follicular ovulation or the beginning of the luteal phase, this is the best time for performing and auditioning. This knowledge and tracking my period throughout this past year have made so much change to my workflow throughout the months. The months also make so much more sense to me in the way I can bring projects to fruition, or at the way I'm expressing myself at my best at any given time, and the way I can schedule my performances and auditions in accordance to my cycle and when I perform at my best, or if I have an audition or a performance at a time which is not the best, I know how to prepare myself emotionally, physically, and mentally to make it the best at that given time. So I would really recommend you to track your cycle and to sync yourself with your cycle. Be aware of the different phases that you're going through each and every month. I also know that we are connected to the moon and to the stars around us, the way the moon affects water in our world. I just feel more connected to all those forces when I track my cycle in this way. I wish you happy singing, happy syncing with your cycle, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!